Paul, thanks for coming back and joining me for another, what I'm calling a spot on chat. Those of you that don't know Paul Berman, Paul is CEO of BirthdayPak. He's also been a mentor to me for probably a year and a half. And he's a man that has an incredible affinity for the Appalachian Trail. I'm Rebecca Monet with Zorakle Profiles. We provide profiling tools for franchisors and franchise brokers that facilitate a right fit between a prospective franchisee and a franchise system. So these are interesting times, Paul, with this coronavirus pandemic that's going on. And I thought maybe we could talk about this time of forced retreat, I think is what you have called that, and your thoughts on that.
So since you teed up the Appalachian Trail, I'm in my home office outside Philadelphia. It's a beautiful day. The windows are open, which is nice. And to my left is a map of the Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine. And I'm proud that I've accomplished 2,000 miles, certainly not trying to pat myself on the back, but this was one of the bigger challenges I've set in my life personally. And I was forced to retreat. I've got a bad back. And in the fall of 2016, I took a fall, wound up in the emergency room with a couple of compression fractures on my ribs, and still today dealing with back issues. I'm walking, I can sit here in very little pain, but those last 200 miles, I can tell you it nags at me. So I was forced to retreat from that. It would not be safe for me to be out there right now. And the pain level, I don't know if I could actually carry a pack and compress my spine, but I'm hopeful that I'll be back out there. I'm certainly never giving up on it. And a week ago, I had a business meeting coming up that was important. And the night before, as I was preparing for it mentally, and then up early in the morning, as I always am with a cup of coffee, it just hit me. And I thought about, this forced retreat. In December 1977, George Washington was forced to retreat to Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. It's just a little bit up the road, probably 30 miles from where I am now. And the Battle of Brandywine was actually really close to my home. It's a few miles away. And as business leaders, individuals, entrepreneurs, we're finding ourselves in a similar situation right now. This invisible army that we didn't see coming has quarantined us at home, questioning, what's our life and our future is going to be like and our businesses. And, what was 11,000 men along with about 500 women and children encamped at Valley Forge is now billions of people across the globe fighting a common foe. The uniforms and weapons being used are different. The same truth holds true right now, is that we're in a forced retreat. And the question is, what can each of us do about it, individually, in a business, or a combination?
Excellent point. It is interesting that you bring up, in this case, Washington was fighting the redcoats, and so it was a smaller army. But we're a world that is fighting a single enemy, right? This virus, and we all have a common goal, which is to defeat it and get back to what we might consider a normal life. But during this time where we're retreating and gathering our forces and building what we need to do to come up against this enemy, does give incredible time for reflection, right? And pondering what life is all about and where our life is going to go through this pandemic, and ultimately once we come out on that other side. I know for me, it's had me do a lot of reflection and weigh out what's important in my life. And I'm sure there are employees that are looking at that, do I want to go back to that job? Do I want to go into business instead? What's really important to me? I'm really enjoying being with my family right now. So this is a forced retreat as we do whatever is necessary to battle the enemy. But I think it's also made us aware that there are things in our lives that may not be in alignment with where ultimately we want to go individually and collectively.
Yeah, certainly it's going to be an interesting time, certainly in the world of franchising. and we're each leaders of our own lives. We're in business and individually. And um, to me, the way I just look at things and people I know and entrepreneurs I've been spending a lot of time with and Zoom webinars is, the list of what we can't do right now is pretty straightforward. Most of the cities in America, we just can't go out to dinner or go to a ball game or all those other things. So what we can't do is pretty obvious, but what we can do is probably a much bigger list. And that has helped me a lot in my life when I was preparing for my second back surgery in the summer of 2017, where I knew I had a couple of months of being homebound and laying on my back and recovering. And I knew it'd be a long, slow recovery, which it certainly has been. So having that list of what we can do, and certainly not trying to plug myself, but my LinkedIn profile, I choose to write articles and share just knowledge and things I've picked up and learned. And this Forced Retreat article I wrote last weekend, and I listed a bunch of questions to ponder. My name is Paul Berman, PaulBerman, with BirthdayPak. So if you want to go on LinkedIn, you'll see this verbatim. But I pondered questions that entrepreneurs or each of us individually, what can we be doing now to prepare for when the lights come back on? So I'm referring to it. It may be a month, it may be 3 months. Certainly areas like New York City and other parts of the country are have been hit harder, or other parts of the world. But what we can do right now is a long list, business and individually, projects we've had on the back burner. Are there pivots in your business that you can consider and take a look at? Are there products or services you've thought about launching? Are there past customer relationships that can be rekindled? I think that's going to be a big part of what's going on. How many of your current customers, prospects are going to be looking at the products and services you differently? There's going to be some predictable shifts. Certainly the food delivery and takeout industry and the dining space, which is critical to my business, our business, is being majorly impacted. I'm hearing some entrepreneurs looking at acquisitions and what assets may become available at steep discounts. Certainly not to slam the cruise line or the hotel industry, but I bet if you wanted to be making investments there, I bet you $1 there's merger and acquisitions going on in a lot of these spaces that we'll soon hear about. Low interest rates. I mean, today we're seeing, what's predictably very low interest rates, and they may be here for quite some time to come. Where are those opportunities? You can borrow money at 3%. If you've got, 20, 30, 40% margins, that leverage point is pretty clear.
Right. So you're using this retreat time to assess your current business and encouraging others to do the same. So not just assessing your own life and where you are, but where your business is. What products and services can I offer that are different? Where is my ROI? How am I spending my time? What relationships have I not taken as much time for, but now I need to be paying attention to? What are some opportunities financially and otherwise that are available that may have not been available prior to this time? So this retreat is actually a treat in many ways. It's an opportunity for us to really look at ourselves and look at our business and see it as an opportunity, not just for now, but into the future. I wish all of us saw it that way.
One of the things I would just touch on, we're on Zoom right now. So I think we've all been aware of this or used Join Me or Zoom or other services like Skype, but it's now becoming the standard. So, how's that going to impact the future and learning and communication? Is this going to become more prevalent? I don't think, a month or two ago, we thought about having virtual happy hours.
Right.
Or having breakfasts with somebody. One of our employees, we're in the birthday business, one of our key employees, his birthday is Monday. Well, we're not going to be getting together. So our director of marketing said, well, let's do a virtual luncheon on Monday for Rob. So Monday we're going to Zoom and we're going to all have lunch and we're going to celebrate and sing them and wish them happy birthday. And it'll be as close as we can get to a good experience. And again, a few months ago, these things weren't happening. So how's that going to change things in our business moving forward? I see opportunities with training and coaching and other things because we're all getting more used to this. And in the world of franchising, I think to your point, Rebecca, is a lot of people have gotten used to being home. Unfortunately, a lot will be unemployed,
Right.
and they've got time to investigate franchise opportunities and different systems out there and what might fit for them, and maybe taking a little more control of their destiny moving forward as this thing starts ending, which can't happen soon enough.
Yay, I'm with you. Well, I can tell you this much, and as a profiling company where we run profiles for franchisors and franchise brokers, the usage of assessments is up 14.5% since the pandemic, which tells me folks are looking for businesses. They are pondering their future. And so I am excited about what's going to happen with our franchisor. So Paul, thanks again for being with me today, and always having an optimistic view and an in-depth view of what's going on. This forced retreat truly is a wonderful time for us to assess who we are, and also how we want to express ourselves through our businesses. And when we start to look at things from a perspective of opportunity, it changes what we ultimately are going to be creating. So I'm looking forward to, like you are, of being out of this pandemic and seeing what great innovation and inventions and opportunities will come out of it.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Rebecca.
Thanks, Paul.